All right, welcome. Today we are diving deep into the spiritual teachings of AAM, which are attributed to Saint Germain. We're going to be exploring a pretty radical idea, the philosophy that says we, you and me, have the power to literally shape our own reality. So let's jump right in. Okay, so let's get right to the core question that these teachings are trying to answer. If life itself is supposed to be perfect, why do so many of us experience struggle and sickness and lack? Well, according to this way of thinking, the answer isn't somewhere out there. It's actually inside each of us. And here it is, the answer straight from the text. It basically argues that our limitations aren't real, not in an external sense. Nope. They're a direct result of our own inner world, specifically our total lack of control over what we think and what we feel. The core idea here is that perfection is the default state, and we're the ones who keep messing it up. So, this brings us to this first major concept, the idea that we're living in a prison that we ourselves have built. The teaching suggests we're trapped, not by some grand fate or destiny, but by our own minds. The source material uses this really powerful image of a wheel of reincarnations to describe what's going on. It suggests we're just caught in this endless cycle of struggle, and we're trapped there by the casual, often negative thoughts and words we use every single day without even thinking about it. We are, quite literally, building our own prison, brick by brick. But here's the twist. If we're the ones who created the prison, then the teaching says we also hold the key to get out. And that key? It's just a simple but incredibly powerful two-word phrase. That key is AM, or as we say, I am. Now, in this philosophy, this is not just a simple statement of existence. Oh no, it's considered the actual name and the power of God in action, a divine creative force that lives inside every single one of us. Okay, let's really break this down for a second. According to the text, every single time you say the words, I am, you are tapping into this universal creative energy. You're supposedly using the exact same force that builds entire worlds. So, whatever words you put after I am become a command, an instruction that directs that immense power. And you can see where this is going, right? This leads to a huge sense of personal responsibility. If I am is the trigger for our creative power, then you could say that our thoughts and our feelings are the ammunition. So here's the crucial point. The pure energy of life is seen as neutral, kind of like a lump of raw clay. It's our own consciousness, our thoughts, our feelings, our spoken words that gives that clay a shape. We qualify this energy, molding it into either the perfection we actually want or the limitations we secretly fear. Now, this next quote really drives the point home, and it is not subtle. It claims that uncontrolled thinking is literally more dangerous than dynamite. I mean, think about that. It's a really stark warning about the creative and destructive force we carry around in our own heads, often without even realizing it. And this slide just lays out the choice so clearly. On the left, you see how we so often use the power of I am to just reinforce our limitations. I am sick, I am poor. But look at the right column. The teaching offers a completely different path, using AM to claim these divine qualities, like the resurrection in the life, or the unlimited opulence of God. It's the same power, you see, it's just being aimed in a completely different direction. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually put it into practice? Well, the text lays out a very specific method for applying these principles to actively change your world. The text proposes a really simple three-step process. Okay, step 1, divert. You have to completely take your attention away from the problem, because focusing on it just feeds it more energy. Step 2, fixate. You lock your attention onto the divine affirmation you've chosen. And finally, step 3, decree. You command with authority the perfection you want to see into being. And here are just a few concrete examples of these decrees. Notice the pattern here. These aren't wishes, they're not hopes. Each one is a direct, powerful statement that claims a divine quality as a present reality right now. For instance, instead of just hoping for more money, you would declare, I am the unlimited opulence of God.
So the teachings also offer some more, let's say, mystical tools, like this concept of an electronic circle. It's described as this invincible shield of pure energy that you invoke with AM. The whole idea is that the circle repels any negative or disharmonious energy, basically protecting your inner peace.
So, where does all of this lead? What's the ultimate goal of mastering your thoughts and wielding this power of I am? Well, the end game, as it's described in the text, is something called the ascension. And the idea here goes way beyond just improving your day-to-day life. It's about achieving total freedom, total perfection, and complete sovereignty over your own reality, basically transcending all of those self-imposed limitations for good. And this final quote, man, it really gets to the absolute heart of the entire philosophy. It's a message of radical empowerment. It's saying that there is no higher authority in your world than you. You are the supreme creator and the final judge of your own experience, period. And so we're left with this one final, really powerful question that comes right out of the logic of these teachings. If you really are the ultimate authority in your own world, then the only question left to ask is, what perfection will you command?